This is my second attempt. I've just cut and just lit my Davidoff No. 2 signature. It's the smell I got when I opened it was a sort of a fresh Virginia type smell. The initial smoke smell is quite good. It's got a good draw. It's quite a nice mild tasting cigar, or at least it's not very heavy and how can I put it? It just tastes nice. I'm trying to sort of identify tastes and that, but I'm not very good at that yet, I'm afraid. I'm only just getting used to pipe tobacco and the different nuances, but that seems to be burning quite well. I don't think I've done too badly with that. And lovely clean labels on it. I've started to collect labels, so it's very smokable. In fact, I quite like it initially at the moment. Now there's a taste beginning to develop. And maybe a slight nicotine hit, I don't know. I'm drinking cold tea. I did have a cup, but when I was walking out I spilled most of it. So it's a quarter of a cup, but never mind. I've got some shout-outs that I'd like to do. There's a guy called lowfunction 613, Carving Piper, and Scotch N Pipes. All of them are great guys, and have their each individual style with putting their videos up. Full of good advice and with different things going on. Carving Piper was showing us one of his wood carving, his pipe carving knives that he uses, and was talking about preparing for his 100 giveaway, which is a long time yet, I think, but he's going to make an ashtray to give away, and the wood that he's got is lovely. It's a a very aged, seasoned piece. Low Functioning was talking about how to smoke pipes, and I knew about the breath method, the breathing method, but I didn't really understand it. I'd watched it on one or two sites, but he actually did it and explained each step as he was going along, and I finally got it, I think. By Jove, he's got it. And Scotch N Pipes was talking about a particular whiskey and reviewing that. Again, I'm still enjoying it, but I can't identify tastes yet, so forgive me for that. The other thing, I'd like to show you my gentleman's stiffener. I think every gentleman should have his stiffener. It's very handy when you need its sort of action. It's sandalwood moustache wax, and it's the gentleman's stiffener. As I say, it's vital if you've got a beard or a moustache. Captain Fawcett moustache wax. It's also quite good if you're stuff with some ladies or with some gentlemen, you know, and you want to just surprise them by saying, "Would you like to see my gentleman's stiffener?" You get some rare responses. I remember the first time I put my kilt, well, when I was being measured for a kilt in Scotland, in the Highlands. And one of the guys there who was measuring me, this very old kilt maker, Carolyn was stood beside me, and he said, "Oh, you're a kilt virgin, are you?" He said, "I have to warn your missus," he said, "that you'll get surrounded by lots of women and one or two strange men," which I thought was hilarious. He was right. I'm going to just smoke for a little while longer and keep it on camera, and then I might try and put a second half up, and if I can, stitch the two together. Now, I've never tried that before. I've never tried editing, so that might not work. So you might just get the beginning here, and if so, I'll just do the end as a just short makeup thing. Some of you know that Carolyn wasn't very well last night, and she's a lot better today, but because she was vomiting so much last night, her tummy's aching and that kind of thing. But I made her some white fish for dinner with just potatoes and some light vegetables, and so far so good. It's something we're getting used to, unfortunately. She's, you know, we expect it virtually every week now because of some of the medicines she's taking. I don't know whether you can see behind my shoulder, but we've got a fridge freezer stood ready to be collected, but I haven't informed the council yet because they charge £40 per item. I know there's a scrap merchant that goes by and he sometimes picks them up, so I might put it out in the front and just hope that he sees it when he's passing one day and just drags it away. I think £40 is a lot for a council to ask. The temptation is just to dump it in the hedgerows, you know. I mean, it's for most people anyway. I mean, I wouldn't do it. I don't think, you know, it's not very socially acceptable. Oh, my ash has dropped off the end, but never mind. It's all in one piece is the ash. It's white and grey. If Sherlock Holmes were here, I'm sure he could analyse that for me. But it's quite nice to see it like that in one piece. Just blow it off the video. It's not tightly packed, but it's not lightly packed. It's just got a little bit of give in it. But not a lot. But the leaf is really very nice. And I'm very grateful to have received this. As I say, at first I'm nervous about smoking cigars because you get some horror stories about the strength of them and that, but I think I'm fairly nicotine tolerant these days. That was the dogs signalling to each other. They're the rulers of the house, really. I mean, we think we are, but they are. They're both the same breed, but one's about twice to 2.5 times the size of the other one. They're both rescue dogs. They were, the first one was the little one, was found in a house with 18 other little Bichon Frise dogs. And the lady used to be a breeder, but she had got dementia and nobody knew, so the dogs were in a terrible state when we got them. And the other one was from a puppy farm. I'm not sure she'd been used as a breeder, but she is an incredibly motherly dog. We first noticed it when we heard some puppies on television, and she shot behind the television to look for them, and then came round to the front and was watching them, you know, and clearly upset that they were making little whimpering noises. The tobacco's changed, the cigars changed a bit. A bit stronger effect on the tongue. I know the taste is developing, but again, I'm sorry, I can't distinguish what it is, except that I'm enjoying it. So I don't sort of worry too much about that, as long as I enjoy something. It's got a nice smell, the burning cigar, and I realise that I've gone on too long now, so what I'm going to do is turn off and then come back and try to add another piece. So if you could go to those people that I've mentioned, they're down in the, or they will be down in the box, you know, their sites, and have a look at them. Please give them a welcome and a love from us, as is befitting. Hi guys. This will either be in a second video or attached to the first. I've sort of smoked down now to at least 2/3. As I've been smoking it, I have noticed a flavour of nuts, not roasted peanuts, but a fresh nutty flavour. Maybe a slightly woody flavour, but I don't know. It's certainly got an earthy flavour, which is quite pleasant. And a spicy flavour built up during the towards the lower end of the smoke. Overall, it's been a very, very pleasant experience. Sat out here in the sun, smoking a cigar, and I think I'm beginning to get a little taste for them, shall we say. But at least it gives me an understanding of what a Dominican cigar tastes like. On balance, I think it's a really nice cigar. It is mild. I'm not going to try and be the expert, but I would sort of think it's just like what I've been doing. A nice smoke in an afternoon, maybe, or in the morning, with a sort of sat outside in the sun or wherever you smoke. I think it's a good everyday smoke. I'm not going to pretend that I'm the great cigar aficionado, and I doubt whether I ever will be, because my sense of smell is sort of atrocious now. But there is a nice smell from it. It's a good cigar. So I'll leave it there and maybe attach it to the other one. I gave a call out earlier to lowfunction 613, and what he was doing was not the drawing of the breathing technique. He was actually doing a review of beard oil, and it was Carving Piper who did the breathing one. I actually watched 2 videos of his, so I hope I haven't caused sort of any offence to either of those, or to anybody who sort of whips over there to watch them before they see this bit. So I shall close there. And that will be my last puff. I'm just thinking whether I should tell you a joke, but I don't know. Yeah, I suppose so. There's this girl who works on the farm, and you've probably heard this one, taking the bull along the road down to the farm to service some cows. And this bloke sees her leading the bull, and he thinks, what an attractive sight. You know, and this big Hereford bull, this orange and white bull. It's beautiful, I wouldn't mind leading that. So he's talking to the girl and says, what are you doing, my dear? And she said, I'm taking the bull down to service the calves, you know, just leading it down. And he said, I wouldn't mind doing that. And she looked at him and said, well, all right, but I think Dad would prefer the bull to service them.